Welcome to 10 Forward. Please have a seat. Madam Guinan will be with you shortly to take your order. We hope you enjoy tonight's show. Peace and long life to everyone. Hello, everyone. I hope you're having an awesome Sunday. My name is NBGee. Thank you for tuning in to NBGee's Let's Talk 10 Forward. We are talking the last two episodes of The Mandalorian. And unfortunately, we've got some good news, some bad news. Bad news is I started this stream a half hour earlier and told my co-host that I was a half hour later. So, Jack Beers, I'm sorry about that. I know I sent you a message on Facebook. I apologize. That's my screw up, hands down. That being said, also, we got someone I've regularly talked to a few times. Welcome to my channel here, Darth Revan. How are you, buddy? That good, huh? Hey, Resolute Germ. Revan, can you hear me? How's the audio? What's going on? Just double checking, making sure I'm not muted for some stupid reason by mistake. Nope.
Okay, sorry about that. Had mic issues. New mic just working out the kinks.
Oh, gotcha, buddy. Oh, thank God, Jack.
Oh, hello. Yeah, I got your thing just now.
Dude, I was feeling like the biggest asshole on the planet, being like at 3:30, and I'm at 2. I was like, God dang it! I felt like the worst partner in a stream ever at that point.
Well, I'm here.
Jack Beers, meet Darth Revan. He's from
this way. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
He's Irish. Don't hold it against him.
It's okay. Hey, I don't hold you being American against you, so yeah. You're just not gay Canadians.
Okay, I'm gonna warn you, Jack. He does not have much of a filter.
That's fine.
I mean, he makes me look tame.
That's fine. I can
All
handle
I'll tell you is, hey, Jack, do you know Rambling Canuck?
Say again?
Do you know Rambling Canuck?
Rambling Canuck. I think I've heard of them, but I don't know. I don't really know.
Okay. NB, I have told Rambling Canuck on many occasions, Canada is America's gayer little sister.
I guess that would work. Yeah, it kind of makes sense, I guess.
Yeah. I was actually, Jack, I was talking with I was on Captain Trek's show earlier today, and Orville Nation stopped in, and I was talking about that little montage they put together. He goes, "Oh yeah, the thing with Jack Beers." I'm like, "Yeah, he's my co-host most of the time." And he goes, "Oh really?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah, we do a lot of stuff together. We do a lot of stuff together." So I thought that was pretty cool. That, you know.
Yeah, I think because I talk about Discovery so much, like nobody really knows that I talk about other stuff sometimes as well. But I do it on these streams because I figure it'd be nice. It's nice to talk to people, especially during all this lockdown stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely. So anyway, we're gonna catch up on the last two episodes of The Mandalorian. Look, I'm gonna let Revan kind of go off first because he's new to the channel. You know how I like to do that. But look. I was never a huge Boba Fett fan back in the day. That being said, I'm not gonna lie. As I've grown with Star Wars, as my older years, I lost my shit the other day when I saw that concussion bomb come out of the Slave One in that episode. I literally, as soon as I saw it and I heard the sound, I was like, "Fuck yeah!"
Prequels.
NB, did you see my review? The one I DM'd?
Yes, I did. Yes,
did you see what I put in after the concussion bomb?
I loved it. I love that he cleaned up the armor too.
Yes, that made so much sense to me.
It did, didn't it? Now
Yeah, people were complaining
let's not
about
get
that for
ahead
a
of
minute.
ourselves.
Yeah.
Let's kind of focus
Okay.
on. Let's think of this as a two-parter because it kind of really feels like a two-parter. Actually, the next episode really feels like this is a three-parter in a way.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
Okay.
can't wait
I
for
have a
that.
question. I have a question for you two about the last episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shoot.
So we all know that baby. Should we call him by his real name or just call him Baby Yoda?
Either one, we'll all get
Doesn't
to
matter.
Grogu eventually, but I'm still going to probably say
I'm
Baby Yoda.
already on Grogu.
We'll all be we'll understand either way.
Okay, so when he placed Grogu on the pedestal, and he was there, I had this feeling that yes, we saw none was happening because it was searching, and then when the beam went up, it found someone. So whoever it was has already been found. It's just lasted that long because it's a homing beacon.
Oh yeah, that would make
Yeah,
sense.
that would
Yeah,
make
that
sense.
would make sense. It was a beacon.
Yeah,
And it's going out in the entire it's going out throughout the force in the entire universe. So yes.
yes,
I mean, obviously he spent the time to do it. And remember, this is the most we've ever seen Baby Yoda Grogu do his force power. This
Mhm.
is the most we've ever seen Contra, but we know because he is also by his species' standards very young, he's not fully trained. So of course the force probably wears him out. I think
Yeah.
that made total sense
It did.
that
yes,
it makes total sense to me why it's wearing him out because he's not fully trained. Yes, okay, technically he's 50 years old, but let's remember when the purge happened. He was what, 12, 13, twenty
Mhm.
three, I think was the right age. So he was barely a youngling at the time. I mean, you got to put those things in perspective.
He escaped
yes.
Anakin's blade.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, I have a theory about that. Okay, that let's say he's not Yoda's kid, but he's Yaddle's. Okay.
Okay, it's not beyond the realm of possibility.
Yeah. Now, so Yoda, knowing that he's in trouble or something like that, contacted the Jedi Temple guards to a Jedi guard who he knows is still solidified in the light, when that's not going to become an Inquisitor. Okay, and he's like, save the kid.
The only way that would happen would be between Yoda. No, I don't see how because Yoda was on Kashyyyk when the purge started in the Jedi Temple.
But
So
Yoda was on the ship.
I don't see that happening.
Mm. Yeah, I was thinking that like he could have sent a message or something like that. But maybe there could have been a Jedi Temple guard or something who's like Yaddle's kid and just boom. Because I think Yoda's race is actually very, very rare. Maybe they were hunted at one point.
Well, this is only the third time we've ever seen the species, and
Yeah.
a lot of people don't remember who Yaddle is because Yaddle was only in episode 1 on the Jedi Council, but she was confirmed as being the second species. Now, between episode 1 and episode 2, she was killed off.
Well,
in the expanded universe, in the old expanded universe, the old EU. So you got to go with. But getting hit on this, we're getting to a point now. I mean, we now have he's reaching out to the Force. He's on Tython. Tython is very instrumental in Jedi lore. It is literally in the EU the birthplace of the Jedi Order, or as they would have been called back then, the Jedi.
I thought it was Jedi.
It might have been Jedi. It might have been Jedi. I always pronounced it as Jedi, but I could be completely wrong.
The reason why I call it Jedi is because I had an Eastern European friend who that word in his language is Yed. So like with the little apostrophe. So to him, and he's who I used to read it with. So I got it from him, like calling it Jedi.
That could be completely accurate. I'm not sure. Nobody's ever corrected me on it.
Yeah, honestly,
and I've never heard another translation of it. But both could be correct. Both could be accurate.
Yeah, because in Irish it's Jedi. That's how it'd be in Gaelic. It could be like something like Jedi or something like that.
So he's literally putting out. So Grogu is putting out this
Yeah.
homing beacon, and you know, Din is like, "Hey, come on, we gotta go, and come on, we all." You know what I liked about this episode too
Well,
was we got Boba Fett without trying to make it like it was a big deal because
Yeah,
they understood. Just because we knew who Boba Fett was doesn't mean for a shit this guy's gonna know who he is.
right.
I
why
mean,
would
why
he?
would he know who Boba Fett is? Why would he care? I mean, would he walk in and say, "I'm Boba Fett"? I mean, would he have given a shit?
Yeah,
No,
who's
of
Boba
course
Fett?
not. Yeah,
You would
That'd be
know.
like us and knowing the Jedi Master, say from Legends. Just say for talk's sake to bring Revan into modern canon. We
yeah.
see Revan stand there, full on costume. He stands there. He's like, "Who are you?" Right? That makes sense because we don't expect him to go, "Oh my God, Revan." Because if he said, "I'm Revan," and
Mhm.
And what does that mean? And
Right.
that was great about how they played it out. He's like,
I'm just a simple man
Boba
looking
doesn't
for
even
blame.
act like he's a Mandalorian, but he's like,
Yeah.
I've come for the armor. And, uh, Djarin is like, oh shit. Hey, you guys talk about yourselves real quick. I gotta get the pizza out of the oven for my son.
Okay.
Okay.
So I have a weird thought about you for you.
Mhm.
Do you think Jin is going to become Mandalore?
Is going to become
Mandalore.
or going to go to Mandalore? I don't know.
No, become Mandalore.
Oh, become one. I thought he
No.
already was one.
No. Okay. A new iteration of Mandalore the Great.
Uh huh.
Do you think he will be him?
Yeah, it's a possibility. I could see. I mean, like, there's obviously some changes that are coming to. He's
Yeah.
going through a character arc right now where, the very first season he was very strict about his Mandalorian rules, and now he's kind of changed that with this later episode where he's finally showing his face and stuff like that.
You know what it strikes me as, and I don't know how you grew up. He seems to me someone who grew up fundamentalist, say Christian,
Yes.
right, and
Mhm.
then met a proper Christian.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of what it felt like. And of course, like even though like they speak the same language, sort of, if you know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's like they still see each other as others because of the different.
Like the way she looks, like the way that Dean looked at her. I don't know what to say, her friends or whatever they are to her, right? And she's like, yeah, he's a child or whatever. Forget a child of the watch. Right?
It's a different dialect or a different branch of the same ideology.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the way the Mandalorian is going with this, way he is versus the way Sabine or Bo-Katan is, they're both native Mandalorians under a different ideology of Mandalorian ideology
Yeah. I don't.
than what Din Djarin is, obviously.
Yeah, I don't know. Did you hear what I just said? Well, I said that to me, he's a fundamentalist Christian who's only been living in a community of them. Everyone's the same way, same thinking, and he went down. He finally met another Christian. It's like, oh yeah, he's fundamentalist.
It's like Westboro Baptist Church meets like an actual, Christian who's not a dick.
Westboro Baptist means
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. Whoa, I wouldn't go that far.
Have you
I wouldn't
actually
go
seen the people who
I would
left?
not go Westboro Baptist. Reverend, I don't know if you know that, but I know
do.
that Reverend.
I know
That is
that
a
very
bad
well.
Reverend.
Well, I guess I'm speaking more on the terms of the ones who've left.
I'd put it FLDS.
Yes, Resolute Germ, you're right. She was raised by Death Watch.
Mhm.
That's
But
absolutely correct.
I think that Child of the Watch, I think it's a different group.
They are. That's why she said, he's one of them. He's of a different mentality. But then we get to the point in the very next. I mean, let's think about this. He's fighting with Boba Fett. And then we find out the one chick, what's her name, is still alive. I've been to
Fennec.
look up her. Huh?
Fennec.
Fennec.
Yeah.
Oh my God, she was still alive. It's like, what? and then we saw her android part, and I'm like, okay, I can
How?
get behind this.
That was kind of impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, my thing is like the way she just like, yeah, I work with him now. I owe him. It's nearly like he's got.
Honor
He's,
among
would've-
honor among thieves and assassins.
yeah, but
I would have had some sort of like fleshy cover for that because they get into very sandy areas.
yeah, but you also have to remember where they are. They're not in Coruscant.
Right.
Like they're not going to go and get Luke Skywalker level prosthetics. They're going to go and get like the iPhone 2.
At best, at best they went to Tashi City. But they were on Tatooine, for God's sake. So they probably got he probably got the work done on Tashi City.
I
was going to say, so who do you think got Grogu's call?
Ezra.
I was thinking Ezra too.
I was thinking Ezra too.
I think that has been the. I think with Dave Filoni being the guy who's been been on this, Ezra would be the most likely person to bring in.
I would have done
live
one
action
thing.
Ezra.
One thing different.
Here's a funny one. I don't think it's going to happen, but it would be funny if it was Samuel L. Jackson's character.
And
he was somehow still alive, and then once Boba sees him, oh my God, there would be a fucking fight. That would be something
oh man. I've heard that one. The Mace Windu, Samuel L. Jackson. Yes, that is obviously a fan favorite. Yes, I would love to see it. I would totally applaud it. Realistically, I think it's probably going to be Ezra Bridger.
Yeah.
Now, we would like it to be.
Yes.
But it's most likely going to be Ezra Bridger or possibly Favreau and Filoni could surprise us with something else that we just are going to get surprised by. We don't know.
Done the scene differently a little bit. So you have Grogu touching the rock, right? And Jim's like, "Come on, we need to go." You hear the battle, and the camera pans back, and it fades out. We follow the light, and then we hear and we see Canteen, right? And all you see is you see this guy, and he's standing there, and then he's like playing all these card games, like just being an asshole, right? And then he stands there, and he looks, and no one can see what he sees, but from the ceiling, all he sees is just this blue light. And he stands there, and he puts his hand out. We don't see his face. All we see is him wearing like a Jedi robe. He puts his hand out, and all you hear, whoom, whoom. He just grabs a lightsaber, attaches it onto his thing, and goes, "I got a call," and just leaves. We don't know who it is. We never see the character. We never see the race of the character or even skin tone. All we hear.
Ooh, that would be interesting. That would be a nice cliffhanger for season 2.
Yeah.
No, I would agree. That sounds like a good cliffhanger for it. The question I'm kind of curious is Bo-Katan going to show up in this episode? Because we know that in the next episode, because we know Jin, Den, Fett, and Feck are going to go. How about Bill Bard? By the way, let's not forget Bill Bard.
I loved him. Oh my
God!
Talk about character development.
He was good.
God.
Now, Bill Bard is an awesome comedian. Why I love him? Because he's that kind of comedian who makes fun of everything and holds nothing back. That's my kind of comedian. And it was Boba Fett walks in. Oh, for a second I thought you were there. Hey, Mando. Been a long time.
Yeah. I love the scene where they're sitting down with that, I don't know, like the commanding officer or whatever.
Yeah. Captain Asshole.
Captain Asshole. And he's talking to him about a massacre that happened on like a planet that he was on or something like that.
Yep.
And he was questioning his decision. And the more he started, the guy started talking about how
the world. You could see. I was like, he's going to shoot him. He's gonna
yeah.
shoot him.
It started to feel like a Quentin Tarantino film for a second because
Yes, it did.
it built up the tension and it built and it built. And in my head, I didn't think he was going to do it. I was like, nah, he's not going to do it. He's not going to do
As
it.
soon as he started crying, his face went red and his eyes started watering. I'm like, oh man, you're dead. You're dead. Like,
Yeah.
Oh,
and he's
yeah.
like, we're going to do a project.
And then when he does it, I was like, holy shit, they actually did it. Now, how the fuck are they going to get out?
And
Yeah.
then he just shoots the next guy.
Man, I like making so many jokes about like seeing Jin's face, and then he's like, turns his head, it's like, I didn't see your face.
Yeah, that was
Yes,
nice.
I actually respected how he went about that. He goes, "You did what you had to do. I didn't see your face."
I
And that-
wonder, will he ditch the helmet?
No, I don't think he's going to ditch the helmet, but I think he remember, Bill Barr's character was kind of making a point of saying, everybody's got a code until they're desperate.
Yes.
And what was Mando's problem? He was desperate. Did he keep the helmet on, or is he going to try and save the child? Well,
Yeah.
we now know how much that child means to him
Mhm.
because he took the helmet off. I don't care if anybody missed it. That is the most crucial thing that guy could have done for himself.
Yes.
He had to give up something, or now he's going to have to lie about it. But he's like, I have to sacrifice this. And then, Bill Barr's character's like, you did what you had to do, man. I didn't see your face. And
the
that
same
was the
comes
end
to
of it.
mind. I don't know, have you ever heard this, because I know you're a Christian yourself. God will understand before he does something. That's the saying that comes to mind when he did that.
What
Yeah.
thing?
God will understand.
Yes.
That is the saying, like, what? Tank, who is a Ferric? Or Ferris? Who you keep saying? Remember when he was...
Ferric is the female attached to Jango, or not Jango, sorry,
No,
Boba
that's
Fett.
Fennec.
Yeah, Fennec and
I have to go back and have a look.
Called? Mayfield.
Yeah.
Migs Mayfield.
Well,
I love that character in this episode.
Mm.
I really loved it. Kind of like, I tried to screw you, you screwed me, no hard feelings.
we were different.
Kind of,
I liked in the end when you saw Mando's head, he just goes, get out of here.
he's like, so can I go? He's like,
Go on,
he's
get
like,
out.
I'm out of here.
I think they're going for Ahsoka.
I would like to
I'm
see Ahsoka again. Definitely. I know.
I don't know about next episode, but
No.
I don't know about season finale, but probably season 3. Sure.
Maybe season 3. Yeah, I was hoping to see her in the season finale, but now that we know she's got a show coming on, they're probably going to just.
They're going to hold off on that.
That's all we're going to get for now. Yeah.
Oh, come on. Who didn't think that was a back? Oh, come on. Who did not see that as a backdoor pilot?
First thing I said.
I wasn't sure that they were going to make an Ahsoka spinoff or whatever. But once
they
did, I was like,
you got to admit, it was set up as a backdoor pilot.
First thing I done was I texted my cousin who was watching it at the same time, and I'm like, so Ray, backdoor pilot? And he's like, dude, that's a front door pilot.
Yeah, that would be true. I mean, it was a great episode. Don't get me wrong. It was a fantastic. Rosario Dawson nailed Ahsoka Tano. Jack and I talked about this in a previous episode. We said she nailed it. She nailed it not even before I heard her words, just by how she was holding. Once I saw how she was holding the lightsabers, I was like, oh, I'm sold.
Yep, that's it.
I'm sold. That's it.
I have a combat lightsaber over there, and I may have done the same thing.
let's put it this way. Well, let's put it this way, Revan. Jack and I were talking about that episode when she was fighting the woman with the Beskar, and she's holding her lightsabers like this, and I'm like, the moment she loses one, she flips the other. I said, "Oh shit, it's over."
Yep.
Jack, the same way, he's like, once she flipped it, he's like, "Oh, it's over."
Yeah,
She ain't
that's what I was
around anymore.
That was one of the things I was specifically looking for was for her to
Exactly, me too.
yeah, and she did it. I was like,
I think the first thing what she was doing was she was gauging your woman's skill.
she was toying with her.
Yes,
Yeah.
she was.
Yeah, and then when she lost the first lightsaber, she's like, okay, I'm not playing no more.
And once she flipped it, it's over, buddy. It was over.
Yeah,
And then
it'd be like,
where is Grand Admiral Thrawn? And I thought, okay, this would have worked out one of two ways. Either this was a backdoor pilot that was going to get picked up, and this would have got resolved, or it would not have got picked up, and Dave Filoni would have ended it in somewhere in this series or a future series. That's how I believe it would have worked out.
I have a theory about that. About what she said. She knows Ezra's back. Because if she was looking for the two of them, she would have said, where are they? But she only mentioned one person.
I wondered the same thing. Wonder, does she know where he is, or does she know what happened to him?
Because where's Sabine?
Yeah, exactly. Where's Sabine? That would make you think that they found out what happened to Ezra, but they didn't find Thrawn. But we could just be speculating. Maybe they split up and went different routes.
Imagine the last bit of the season, okay? They're there, and in the background, all you see is the little ship go and past the window, right? And Mando's there, and he's trying to get out. They're finding a load of stormtroopers, and he sees Grand Moff, whatever his name is, Tarkin, not Tarkin.
Thrawn.
No, not
Gideon?
Thrawn. The guy, Gideon.
Moff Gideon? Okay.
Oh, Gideon.
And he sees him with the Darksaber, and he's there, and he's like, has his gun, like he's out of ammo, and then you hear a girl's voice go, that belongs to me. And he turns around and he sees Sabine standing there with her gun out. It's like, oh, hello, little girl. And then you hear the lightsaber turn on in the back, and they turn around, and there's Ezra on the other side, and it's like, step away from my wife.
I could actually go for that. I could go for that. That would be interesting. I do not believe for a second Dave Filoni is going to leave us forever hanging on what happens to Ezra and Thrawn. I don't believe it's going to happen. He's going to conclude it somewhere.
I would love, absolutely love, we kill off Gideon. Gideon dies. Right?
Not this season.
No, I'm just saying,
Gideon dies. To waste in just this season.
Yeah, but just say he dies, or he loses. Right? He loses the saber, he loses the child. You see him and he goes in, heavy breathing, touches his computer, and then he, like the hologram comes up, right? We're looking at Gideon through the camera, and he's there and says, "Sir, I failed you." Camera turns around and you see Grand Admiral Thrawn standing there, a little beaten up, and he's a little older, and he's looking and he goes, "No. Now you've gauged your abilities. Now
I could see the ending being Moff Gideon talking to Grand Admiral Thrawn. I could see that. I've heard that one, and you got to remember, if you know anything about Grand Admiral Thrawn from the Thrawn trilogy by Timothy Zahn, this man is a strategical genius. He only made one small error, and that's what got him killed. But everything else he did before then, dude was a strategic genius for the Empire.
I mean, I've heard people talking. They're like, that Thrawn's the type of person that as soon as he hears there's like a Jedi on the field, he's the type of person they go, okay, I'm out.
No. He's the kind of person who, when one of the things they did really well in the cartoon series on Rebels, his appreciation for art. He loves art because to him, it teaches him about culture. That's why he has such appreciation for art, because it teaches him about culture, it teaches him about strategy, and all kinds of other things. He sees art in a way nobody else does.
Yes.
And it's what makes him such an effective leader. Also, he's not evil.
He gives the impression that he's nobility. The way he walks, the way he talks, things like that.
No, he presents he personifies confidence,
Yeah.
not arrogance, confidence. He's not an arrogant man. He's not like your stereotypical empire admiral who's arrogant and all about it for glory or blah blah blah. He thinks long term. This is the guy who thinks three-dimensional chess.
Mm.
If it would exist. That's how intelligent Thrawn is.
Yeah, I think he's just the only reason he's with the Empire is so that stay away from just.
But like I said, he's one of the things big about Thrawn is he doesn't underestimate his enemy. Never.
Yes.
He always pays careful attention to his enemy. He wants to study his enemy. That's one of his big fascinations with art, is he studies it because he wants to study the enemy. Because if you know the enemy, you know how to beat them.
Yeah.
I mean, he's literally the Star Wars version of Sun Tzu, for lack of a better term.
Mm.
In some degree, I would call him that. Thrawn is the Star Wars equivalent of Sun Tzu.
That is very, very true. But I have another little snippet. How many Jedi do you think actually survived? Because did you know that they did not hunt exiles? Because exiles are no longer Jedi. That means that anyone who left the Order, like Ahsoka or anyone like that, is no longer considered a Jedi.
There's a comic series that Marvel came out with about the Star Wars stuff, about that specific thing. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted.
No worries.
Anyways, what was
the exile?
He was talking about the theory of how many Jedi are left.
Okay, so in the comics, it starts. It's the Vader comics. They start off right after he goes no.
Yes,
and in it, he actually hunts down those remaining Jedi who had left the Order.
Yes,
yeah, even the ones that they don't even use the Force anymore or whatever. He hunts them down.
I've seen that where he kills the guy who, like, the master who's meditating, the librarian, and people like that. But what I would love is for someone, because I was talking to my friends and they were saying I'm paranoid to a degree that if I was a Jedi, I'd probably be one of the ones that survive, because they're like, where do you go if you survived? And someone's like, oh, I'd hide in the lower levels of Coruscant. They said to me, where do you go? I said, if I'm the same height and weight as a clone, I kill the clone, not with the lightsaber, but with the Force. I then proceed to put his armor on. I go over. I do my salutes. I do everything like that. I don't speak. I get into a fighter. I go. Then I switch to fighter. I then switch ships so many times. And I then get my own ship. I steal it or whatever like that. Or I kill the pilot. Do whatever I need to do to get this ship. And I go to the unknown regions.
That would most likely be the place.
Yeah, that's where I'd go. But here's the thing: if there's Force in the inner part of the galaxy, there's definitely Force in the unknown regions, which means there could be an order hanging out in the unknown regions that you could go and go, okay, I've lost the Jedi, but I could be part of the Ur-San or something like that.
I would just go to Dagobah.
Tatooine.
Hey, icons about as strong in the Force as you're going to get in a lot of areas. But, unfortunately, I don't know where they're going to. I'm kind of curious where the future is going to go with this, because we have the sequel trilogy. But are they going to try and keep everything in the series in canon, or is it going to go to a clash? Are we going to start seeing some overwrites? Because I hate to say it, but when you look at the sequel trilogy, watching this as much as I love The Mandalorian, they kind of almost feels like they wrote themselves in the corner when it comes to Luke Skywalker's Jedi. So this would have to be a different set of Jedi.
Have you seen the logo for the Ahsoka? Have you paid attention to it?
No, I haven't actually seen anything about Ahsoka.
It is the world between worlds. Her logo is the writing from the world between worlds. The circle is behind her name.
Rebels. Okay.
Yeah, that is her logo. I think Dave Filoni And John Favreau are going to try and obliterate the sequel trilogy. And they are waiting until Kennedy is gone to do this. Because remember, 2023, her contract ends in September 2022.
Well, let me ask you this, between you two. Would it bother you if they wiped out the sequel trilogy? Because it sure as
What's the
shit
sequel
wouldn't bother
trilogy?
me.
It wouldn't bother me, but I have a feeling what they're actually going to do is lead to the sequel trilogy.
You hush your mouth.
Well, unfortunately, I think he's right there. I think that's the more realistic. Look, don't get me wrong. I'd love to see the sequel trilogy washed out of the Terminator franchise has tried to do, but or the
It's
Alien
actually
franchise, but I just don't know if they're going to go that route.
they've given us the out. They have okay. This is so convoluted, but listen to me. Okay, just say we see Rey's Jedi Order in shambles. The new head of the First Order makes Kylo Ren look like a whiny little girl, which he was, right? But I mean, he is the new Vader and Palpatine together. He is ruthless. Okay. And then hold on, I'm not sure.
Resolute Germ, yeah, I'm going to be honest. Kathleen Kennedy was the worst mistake in all of Star Wars.
Okay. Jack, be prepared to meet my real self.
She tried to do the Star Wars what Kurtzman did to Star Trek.
Yeah.
Yeah, and B's heard me saying this before, but Jack, be prepared to meet my real self. Kathleen Kennedy should have been swallowed 9 months, 3 minutes before she was conceived.
Yep.
Or else
I don't know what kind of ass kissing she did to George Lucas, or how much she fondled his balls, or licked or sucked or whatever. But
no,
he put her in charge. Was literally the worst thing he could have picked to do.
I think what it was that she was like, "Oh my God, George, I love." Well, she was pretending to be like Filoni, right? And she's like, "Oh my God, this is great. I love your ideas, George. You're the best ever." Woo. And then she gets the power, and it's like, "Okay, women number one. We need to do this. The Force is woman, right?" And here's okay. Do any of you know about the writer of the High Republic?
No, I really haven't kept up with a lot of Star Wars news
The writer
lately.
of the Republic is a close friend of Epstein. I wonder how that'll go down.
I wouldn't want to advertise that.
She has been, but I know she doesn't want it advertised, but yeah, she was a very close friend, and she worked with him with some of these celebrities. She knows stuff.
Remember, Jesse, we were talking about Gremlins yesterday.
Yeah.
And at one point we were like, "Oh, I'm going to watch it tonight," and so I did. And one thing that caught my attention was the executive producer of Gremlins was Kathleen Kennedy.
No way.
Yeah, she was the executive producer of Gremlins. She also executive produced Back to the Future, The Goonies. So she was behind some good shit at first. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Gremlins 2. Yeah, so she was behind a lot of stuff.
E.T., The Color Purple, The Money Pit, Empire of the Sun, Jurassic Park.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the question: what exactly is the definition of an executive producer? I don't think a lot of people know. Even I'll be honest, I don't know what an executive producer versus a producer is.
I think it's just a producer's boss.
Yeah.
Possibly.
She's just a high-ranking producer. I mean, we've all seen the intro to Discovery. Everyone there is an executive producer.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh my God! You could. God, how many executive producers does it take to make one show?
I am literally planning on doing like after the end of this season, right? I'm literally planning on doing a thing where I'm just going to get, and you see like Alex Kurtzman walk up, right? It's like, everyone, when he does the speech, it's like, I have an idea for the new Star Trek, and then all you see, I'm going to cut it with the Discovery getting fired on, mixed in with the Death Star exploding, right? And then just the credits rolling.
Oh Lord.
Jesse, did you ever watch The Walking Dead?
Yes, I did.
Did you did you watch it up until you saw her death? Shaniqua
Yeah.
Martin Green. That was the
Yeah.
dumbest death I have ever seen. She suffocated herself in the bathtub, and she still couldn't act like she was dead.
I look at it, when it comes down to it, I have a feeling that the Mandalorian is obviously going to eventually get into where they catch up to the sequel trilogy, but we don't need to know about it. We don't need to, so what if the First Order rises out of this whole thing? Who gives a shit? We can still ignore it and enjoy this.
He kind of
Because
mentioned this. Everyone needs order.
oh yeah. Oh, that was when Bill Maher's character is like he's talking about, we invaded his planet and all his buddies were killed. He even said, he goes, you were a stormtrooper. He's like, you were a Imperial sharpshooter. Come on, man, that was a long time ago. And you can see when he looks at this guy, it's not just fear. There's anger. I didn't know Bill Maher could really act that way.
Yeah,
But
me
man,
neither.
you could just see the anger, the seething, the hatred in his face as this guy is just running his mouth like,
Yes.
and you're just watching him. And I'm like, dude, if you don't shut up, he's gonna shoot you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can tell that he was looking at his face too. You can tell that he was getting upset. And that's why he started smiling bigger and he was like,
Yeah.
to the Republic, or for the
For
Empire.
the Empire.
Yeah,
And then he's
for the
like,
Empire.
oh, and then it was like the poor guy with the boom. You did what you, and then he looks at Mando and he just like, you did what you had to. I didn't see your face. Nothing else said after that. That was the end of it.
I mean, honestly, the way he would look is, NB, you're a history fan as much as I am, right? I don't know if you are, Jack, but
I've dabbled.
Yeah, NB, honestly, he reminds me of like maybe some of my people who got to America, and it's like you see someone from Ireland, it's like, dude, I saw what you done back then. It's like that was a long time ago, or else without saying their names, Germans in the 1930s and 40s, just regular dudes who were made to join the army. And it's like, oh yeah, I saw what you done. It's like, no, that was a long time ago. I didn't.
It's different when you're a regular rank and file soldier versus other things. It's just different.
Right.
I mean, he was a rank and file soldier. He was like Han Solo. He was a rank and file soldier. That was it. So was Cara Dune. She was a rank and file soldier. Yes, she had a personal grudge because she was from Alderaan. I mean, shit, yeah. Anybody's going to have a grudge. I would be, if you're from Alderaan, yeah, you probably have a fucking grudge.
Here's a
you grow up
question.
My world, I'll have a problem with you, yeah.
Yeah, here's a question about Alderaan. So Alderaan was a kingdom world, right? They had colonies. Why didn't all the colonies get together and create a new Alderaan? Where
they did in the EU. They did in the EU.
That made so much sense.
There is a new Alderaan. There was created a new Alderaan.
Who ruled it?
Yeah, there was a new Alderaan created in the EU.
Yeah. Who ruled it?
Oh shit, I don't know.
I would have thought Leia.
No, Leia became
general.
She became a general. She eventually became leader of the New Republic. Eventually, she resigned and eventually became a Jedi Knight. Learning under, and she actually learned under her. She learned under one of Luke's also teachers, and her daughter, Jaina, became a master. And it was actually quite interesting to get to listen to the way Luke would say it. He said, Master Solo. And she looked, he goes, I just wanted you to hear it first from me. Letting her know he had given her the title of Master.
Yeah, you know what would have been good for in Force Awakens? Just if I was doing and say it was good, what I would have had done. You know the man who said she's always a princess to me.
She's always royalty. Yeah.
Yeah. When Kylo Ren was standing in front of him, he should have looked up at him, knowing he obviously knew who he was, and he should have said, Your Highness. That would have, yeah, just like throwing that little, just a little thing in like that, like just the Your Highness. Could have had the fans going, oh, what's this? And everything like that, and it's like,
oh no, I got so many issues with sequels. I don't even know where to begin.
I'm going to tell you this without getting into a sequel fight. All I'm going to say is The Force Awakens could have led into something great, as it
Yes,
was.
because
I didn't hate The Force Awakens. I thought there was potential there until the Last Jedi happened.
Yeah, okay. I think The Force
Rise
Awakens.
of Skywalker was worse. And we're gonna end it on that note.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this. The reason why I think Rise of the Skywalker is worse than Last Jedi is instead of they just tried to, please, we're sorry, here, we're gonna throw a bunch of shit at you, and you made it worse. But we are fortunate. We do have The Mandalorian. We have the season finale coming up next week. I do like seeing Boba Fett back. I like getting to know his character in this media. I've known his character in the paper media and the comic media, but it's really interesting to get to see him in this form of media. And I think it's great they got the same guy who played Jango Fett, also played the clones, and also, of course, voiced Jango Fett when they redubbed it, Boba Fett when they redubbed it in The Empire Strikes Back. I know that pissed off some people. Me, I thought it was a smart move.
It made sense after the Clone Wars. After Clone Wars, it only made sense.
And I'm not gonna lie, like I said, when I saw that little concussion missile go off, I went nuts. I was like, "Oh, prequel!"
That was awesome.
And he obviously had time to clean his armor. It's like he took pride in that armor. It's like he had time to really put a nice shine back on, or coat of paint.
I like the look, but apparently people had problems with it
because of the little red glowing lights that was, and there's a sticker on the other side.
Yeah, well, I guess because the in the original trilogy, his armor was beat up like that as well, but minus the Sarlacc pit burns.
Yeah,
this is going to sound so stupid, but I have genuinely seen these comments, and they genuinely pee me off. Okay, people are talking about his weight.
Oh yeah, I don't care about that either.
No, I don't care about.
I didn't get. Sorry.
People are saying, oh yeah. So what? They're like, oh yeah, he's got dad bod, he's got chunky and stuff like that, and I'm like, leave the man alone. He's bloody made Boba Fett awesome again.
Right.
Oh, the dad bod. Oh God, give me a break. So what?
Yeah, I didn't.
So he's a little out of. So he was a little out of shape. He's been on freaking Tatooine for the last 5-6 years.
Yeah, and Tatooine is not good on you if you watch. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got weird radiation that ages you faster.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't care. I didn't give a shit about that. I just thought when he put the armor on, I was like, oh shit, we got Boba Fett.
Yeah, that's all I wanted. The armor.
Yeah,
I mean, getting to see him in the armor, getting to see him in the, and then cleaning up the armor, which. I mean, the last time we saw it, it was damaged in the original trilogy, but, it had been damaged a lot, so what? So he took time to paint the fucking shit.
Right.
I mean, really, is that really a nitpick worth bitching about? I don't think so.
Same thing with the boob armor.
Here's the thing. When he said to me, I'm just a man making my way in the universe.
That was good.
Right? Yeah. But
like my father before me.
Yeah,
I like the reference. I enjoyed that reference.
Yes.
I'm just a simple man making my way in the galaxy like my father before me. I'm like, I like that. It's respectful and it makes sense.
I wonder, for the character, right? If he's like after he grew up, during the Clone Wars. He saw millions of his brothers die. I don't care what you say. I call the clones brothers to each other, right? But he saw his brothers die. Then he had to go and work with Vader. Who there's a theory out there that Vader only hired him because he sounded like Rex. That's an actual theory that's out there. That Vader hired him because he sounded like Rex. I'm like, no, Vader hired him because he was Anakin Skywalker and he was on a ship that went exploding. He knew what he could do as a kid. What will he do when he's fully trained adult?
All right, folks, with that being said, we've got the season final to look forward to for Mandalorian.
Yes.
I'm really looking forward to it. We're obviously going to have Boba Fett back. We're going to have Din Djarin. We're going to have Moff Gideon. I think we're going to get Bo-Katan. I think Bo-Katan's going to show
I
up.
think we're getting Ahsoka because the guy who said who plays Gideon did say I'm going to have a lightsaber fight and I've been taking lessons. So
But like I said, I do like the idea of the ending being Gideon talking to Grand Admiral Thrawn. I think
I
that
love
would
that.
be an awesome ending.
Yeah, I
but
agree.
The thing is what he'd have to say, because one of the things that for the ending that I think, right, is he's there and he looks is that I think Tron should have a hate grudge out for Ezra. Like he should be the bane of his existence. And he's looking and he's like, you lost a kid. You lost a child. Tell me, has Bridger shown yet? And he's looking, he goes, no, Bridger hasn't shown yet. Or else he's like, I've seen Bridger on my ship. He goes, finally, a location. Just to give a little reference to the fans.
Well, I guess we'll see you next Friday. With that being said, folks, next week we're going to do some Christmas movies again. What we call macho, toxic, masculine movies. We're going to go back and talk about those manly movies. All right, folks, to everyone out there,